right, what is happening, everybody here at the Domain? Welcome back to our YouTube channel. I am Bryce Schumacher, aka Big BS here. Today we're going to talk about a little bit of news. It's a couple weeks old, but it's a big deal. So here we go. Let's see, on July 29th, this 2024, next year, the marketplace on the Xbox 360 will be shut down for good. So we're going to get into what that means and how to preserve your games and go into a little bit of game preservation altogether. But first off, I want to say thanks for joining in and viewing the channel. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button if you're enjoying the content, and leave the notifications on. Check us out on all the social medias. We got Twitch, Instagram, Twitter. We've got our own website, the Domain GPCE, where we put up articles and everything. So make sure to check us out everywhere you go online. But let's see. Yeah, like I said, July 29th, 2024 is going to be the last day that the 360 marketplace will be open. It'll be shut down that day. So Phil Spencer, head of Xbox, in a recent interview says that he would love to find solutions to preserve old games that may be lost because of this. So hopefully there's something in the works there. But what does that mean for you and your 360 games? The 360 marketplace is shutting down, and if you don't already own a game, you won't be able to download it from the shop after July 24. Lots of games are backwards compatible, so you'll still be able to enjoy them on your Xbox One or any of the Series Xboxes, S and X. So these games aren't completely dead. They're just not accessible on the 360. If you have a 360 and you want to play these games on the 360, you'll have to download them and not erase them after the shutdown day. So you have to download them before July 29th of next year, 2024. And you'll be able to still play it then. But on top of that, they're shutting down the TV and music app on the Xbox. So you won't be able to watch any of the movies or TV shows that you've purchased through the Xbox Marketplace app, as well as I don't think you'll be able to even watch them. So that's a big, this happens every generation or so, when, the old systems are just they get shut down. They don't have a big enough following or fan base playing it anymore. Everybody's moved on to the new stuff. So it's better for them to focus on where the players are at, which is the current generation, Xbox One, even Xbox Series X and S, and leading into the future. So, I mean, this is a necessary thing from a business standpoint, but as a gamer, it really sucks, man, because I hate, and this is one thing when we were turning digital that I was really, really optimistic, or, not optimistic, but really against, as far as like the digital push when it came to gaming and videos and everything going digital. I kind of foresaw, just the issues with going digital, just not being able to play your games once that digital marketplace shuts down or that console shuts down. Like, I love having a physical game that I can put in here and play it right away without any issues. But and as Xbox One and everything brought on the data restrictions where you had to sign in online to be able to check if you're able to play it or not. There was just too much going on there, and we didn't have it figured out yet. It's a little better now, but here we are saying goodbye to the 360 marketplace. It didn't even make it 20 years, unfortunately. So Phil Spencer, also, a few more comments from him. On the 360, there's about 220 games approximately, that are not on the digital marketplace. So you'd have to actually physically buy those games if you wanted to play them. So good luck finding that. So Phil Spencer says that's why we gave people with this decision a year. Let's say, hey, if you want to go buy things in the 360 store, we're going to give you a year head start, and you can go get those things. And just know that the list of 220 games is something that we see, and we would love to find solutions for those games to continue to play. Let me correct what I said. There's about 220 games that are not backwards compatible, rather, not on the marketplace, but 220 games that are not backwards compatible with the current generations. So those are games that you would not be able to play on the Xbox One or Series X or X. Those are games that you're going to have trouble playing. So those are ones if you are a fan of those 220 games, check out the list online and see if you can find a physical copy somewhere. So video game preservation might sound easy because it's digital, right? But it's much more challenging than that. First of all, you have to have a copy of the game in some form, usually physically, and that can be very difficult depending on the age of the game. So there's a quote from Kelsey Lewin, who is the co-director of the Video Game History Foundation. She said, for every Mario game that's available, there's hundreds of less popular games that are critically endangered. I like that she says critically endangered, like she's a nature preservist or something, like it's an endangered species. But I like it because it really is, man. Like, this is art in its greatest form, in my opinion, that we're losing. And thank God for companies staying alive and making remakes of these good games, but there's a lot that gets washed away under the radar. There are so many games nowadays. It's hard to get to play all of them and get to experience all the great stories and gameplay that's out there. Let's see. Well, okay, so first you need to copy the game. Then you have to have the appropriate hardware to play it on. Emulators and backwards compatible games might be crossing your mind right now, but they don't necessarily offer the same experience as the original. You got a lot of bugs in emulators, I find. Just the transitions they're just not as good as the original more often than not. So how can we make sure you can play the 220 games still, Spencer said. How many of those are on PC? That's one thing, because it doesn't necessarily mean you need to be able to play it on the existing hardware that you bought 15 years ago, but preservation is front and center when all these decisions are made. And that's a quote from Spencer. So even if you're playing a backwards compatible game on an emulator, or one on an emulator, you're probably playing on a new screen. Last year, the gaming community talked a lot about the fact that retro games do actually look worse now than they did when they came out when we were younger, because the graphics were designed with an old screen in mind. And if you've experienced it, you know what I'm talking about here. If you plug in an NES on an HD TV, it looks like crap. It just doesn't work. And even some of these old remakes, you can really see the blockiness of it come out. Spencer acknowledged this, saying, I will say for us that preservation that's linked to only one piece of hardware is a challenge, because there can be hardware love as well. People who love and want this device to do this forever, but mechanical things will break over time. And it's not just a topic of archivists and historians to talk about. The implications affect modern gamers every day. More video games are skipping physical copies altogether, discs or cartridges for Nintendo, Alan Wake 2 and Starfield being two notable recent examples. If you buy a copy in the store, the box will just contain a digital code to redeem. And that pisses me off. Like, why? Just for the case, I guess, but it's like, I want the disc. I want that physical copy so when this fucking marketplace shuts down here in another 20 years, I can still play Starfield without, what we're going through now with the 360. So what's that mean when you get a digital copy? Also, there's no sharing with your friend. You can't let a buddy borrow it like the old days. You can't trade it in when you're finished at GameStop or the exchange. Or worst case scenario, you lose access to your account and then you can't access any of your library anymore, which is a real thing. As we go into this modern age of technology, a lot of our passwords are just saved in our phone. We don't actually remember them anymore just because there's so many of them we have to have now, and using the same one for everything is dangerous. So if you were to lose access to your account, your phone breaks, and you move, or you get robbed, or you lose all your stuff in a fire or something, any number of situations, you could lose access to this account, and then you've lost your whole library you've invested in, and that would be major disappointment for me as a gamer. Spencer, let's see, but it's worth noting that this problem has been around 4 years, though. If you're a PC gamer, if you bought a game to play on a computer, it's almost certainly digital for PC, and it has been that way a lot longer than consoles. Spencer didn't comment on the move to digital games on consoles in this interview. He just explained that the decision was made so they could focus on what players are largely interested in right now. The work on the 360 storefront was really just about the hardware and the lifespan of the hardware, Spencer said. We know how many people are playing 360 games on the 360. It's a pretty small community. The community of buyers is very, very small. So as the back end, which is tied to that hardware roughly, starts to kind of bring down just from a sustainability point, and almost all players have moved on, we're like, okay, we can focus our effort on where the players are and where they can buy. So you can still go buy all the the backwards compatible games, all the multiplayer stuff, all works. I think that's pretty cool, says Spencer. So, in summary, you've got till July 29th of next year to download anything that you own on your 360 or buy new stuff. But after that, you will not be able to access the marketplace. Like I said, backwards compatibility on Xbox is a great thing. They've been working on that really hard for the last 3 generations of gaming. Gamers wanted it, and they've kept doing it. You can see mine, it's been through some rough times here. But it's still here, it's still kicking. So make sure you've got a year. They're giving you a year to get your ass in gear, essentially. So if you're worried about your marketplace on 360, you're worried about your library, go ahead and download it now. You got a year to get you some memory cards or an external hard drive. I don't know if they do that on 360. It's been so long. Can't remember I don't know if they do. Maybe they have their own brand ones, but probably not. You probably just have to upgrade the actual hard drive here, the detachable. So get you a big detachable hard drive. I'm sure you can find them at the exchange or Disc Replay for a decent price, or online somewhere. But don't lose your games, man. This is what it's all about. So unfortunately, this is what the digital realm, some of the cons of it is not being able to access our libraries when these marketplaces shut down. So let me know what you guys think about digital gaming, digital marketplaces. leave some comments. Let's have a discussion. Let's do it on Twitter if you want, or what, X, whatever you want to call these things these days. But well, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it in the comments below. Make sure to give us a follow if you like it, and give us a subscription if you really like it. And I appreciate everybody that views this. Thank you very much. And go save your library, man. Preserve these games and pass them down to the next generations, you know, and share these stories like our parents used to share, you know, books with us when we were kids. Let's share these great games, you know, like it doesn't all have to be violence and gore. There's really good, wholesome stories there, really, you know, really good, touching performances by actors and stuff. Like anything that you can get anywhere else, you can get in a video game, entertainment wise. It's all there. So thanks again, folks, and it's been Bryce Schumacher, aka Big BS here. We'll see you on the next one.